Happy Monday, everybody. Harrison Graham here with another episode of Chicago Bears Now. Today's show presented by Manscaped. Father's Day just around the corner. They got some easy gifts for you guys, 20% off plus free shipping when you use code BEARS20 at manscaped.com. That is BEARS20 at manscaped.com. Link in the comments and in the description of this video. All right, on today's show, we're going to do a little minicamp preview as Bears mandatory minicamp gets going this week. Tuesday through Thursday is minicamp, so that'll be exciting. All three practices are supposed to be open to the media. That should be the case, which means we should have more information for all of you. Should get a closer look at what's happening with this new look Bears with Matt Eberflus in charge. So that's exciting. And hey, really the last tangible football we'll have until training camp. So I'm excited for this week. If you're excited, hit that thumbs up icon as well. The next 3 days should be important for roster evaluation. I think minicamp is more important for teams with the new regime than other teams. Like, for example, do the Rams really need minicamp? Probably not. But for the Bears, new coaching staff, a lot of new players, new offensive system, new defensive system. You know, vets who didn't go to OTAs should be returning. So all those things factor in, and it'll be exciting to see, kind of what stands out and what doesn't over the next few days. What is the number one thing you're watching out for during minicamp? I want to know. Number one thing, is it Justin Fields in the offense? Is it the offensive line? Is it something on defense? Is it Robert Quinn to see if he shows up after skipping OTAs? All potential storylines to keep in mind here. Let me know down in the comments, and then I will break down what I think the top 5 storylines are for minicamp. All right, let's get into my Bears minicamp storylines as minicamp gets going tomorrow on Tuesday. Justin Fields and just his progress, right? I think that's obviously the most important thing for this Bears football team. His development and progression is priority number one for the Bears. I think we all know that. I think it's critical that even beyond wins and losses this year in 2022, how does Justin Fields play this year? How does he evolve in this new offense? Does he take stranglehold of this team and say, I am this team's franchise quarterback? We keep hearing this team, coaches, and players rave about him, but how's he looking on the field in this new scheme with Luke Getsy as his offensive coordinator? Obviously, we're looking for improvement statistically. There's no doubt about that. Needs to play better. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think the raw stats don't tell the full story from a year ago, but either way, improvements need to be made. How does Luke Getsy unlock his mobility and get him on the edge, not only as a runner, but as a passer on bootlegs and designed rollouts and stuff like that? Watching out for Justin Fields is going to be very interesting this week and obviously on into training camp. Very curious to see if the offense or defense has a better week. The practices that the media has had access to, the defense has won those days more often than not. Now, it sounds like the offense has had their days as well, just happens to be on days where the media is not there. Well, media is going to be at all 3 days, so we should get a better look at which unit is kind of further along at this point in time. It shouldn't be a surprise if the defense is further along, but an opportunity for Fields and the offense to win the week. How confident are you in Justin Fields? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 being not at all, Sang-Rae Kim, I know you're watching. 10 being you're very confident. He's this team's franchise quarterback. I don't think I'd go on either end of the extreme. I'd probably be at like a 6.5 to 7, maybe like a 7 or so. I'm confident in his abilities. Now, it's up to him to put it all together and for this coaching staff to put him in positions to succeed and then for him to go make plays. Scale it 1 to 10. How confident are you in Justin Fields? All right, next storyline at minicamp, and I think it's clearly the biggest storyline beyond Justin Fields, and it ties into Justin Fields. The offensive line and the different combinations. We saw last Wednesday that Braxton Jones got first-team reps at left tackle, and Matt Eberflus revealed that that's part of working through the different combinations. Teven Jenkins worked with the second team that day. Larry Borom kicked out to right tackle from left tackle. So we've seen and heard about different, guys working at different spots. And when you look at this depth chart right now, which is a very loose one, I will add, left guard and center are the only quote-unquote certainties. That's Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick. Beyond that, I think it's very up for grabs. Who's going to be the left tackle? Is it going to be the Larry Borom? If it's not, is it going to be Braxton Jones or is it going to be a free agent? I don't know. Has Teven Jenkins, is he going to be the right tackle? I think it's weird that he worked with the second team. Maybe they like Borom better at right, and maybe Teven Jenkins is the odd man out. Who knows? Are they going to go out and sign a veteran right guard, or is that just going to be a weak link on this unit? keep an eye out for the offensive line, not just how they play, because at minicamp, there's no pad stuff, so again, it's hard to evaluate, but what different combinations do they do over these 3 days? And I think especially on day one, who are the starting 5 on the offensive line? That is something I'm keeping an eye out for. Will the Bears sign a starting offensive lineman before training camp, whether it's a tackle or a right guard? Curious to know what you guys think. Will they go out and sign a veteran? Type Y for yes or type in for no. Now, get going with Manscaped before Father's Day, and if you're like me and you're like, I don't know what to get my dad for Father's Day, well, Manscaped's great because we all need men's grooming products, right? The Platinum package comes with everything, basically all of their top products. The Lawnmower 4.0, the best ball hair trimmer on the market. The Weed Whacker, which is going to trim down your nose and ears hairs. You get older, you're a dad, you got hair in your nose and ears. I got ear hair. It's just something you got to take care of. The Weed Whacker is going to help you out. The Ultra Premium Collection, which is the shampoo, the conditioner, the body wash, the body spray, all that good stuff. You get the boxers, you get the travel kit, you get some crop gel, some crop exfoliator, all this stuff with promo code BEARS20 for only $123.99. It's 52% off this bundle because if you buy all these products separately, it's over $250. It's a steal. Links in the comments. It's in the description. Manscaped.com. Promo code is BEARS20. All right, storyline number 3 at Chicago Bears minicamp. Kyler Gordon, is he good to go? So it's been an interesting start for Gordon since they drafted him. Remember, he cramped up in that rookie minicamp, missed some time there. They were cautious, obviously the right move. Then he was great during the early part of OTAs to the point where Matt Eberflus, was raving about him, saying, just talking about how good of an athlete he is and his plays on the football. Then he missed at least the final OTA practice, maybe more, because, again, the media does not have eyeballs on every OTA practice, but he missed the final one, but was in the building. So it's not like it was an excused absence where he was away from Hallis Hall. Matt Eberflus says, yeah, he's in the building, he just wasn't out there. Didn't expand on that. Does that mean he's injured? Does that mean a personal thing came up and he had to go inside and take a couple of calls? Was he, doing some other stuff in the building? Who knows? I'll say this. If he's not at practice getting reps during minicamp, that probably means he's nursing some sort of injury. Now, I said this on a recent video, and I'll say it again. I think we would know if he had a major injury. That would not be kept under wraps. Like if he tore his ACL or something during OTAs, we'd know about it. But maybe he tweaked a hamstring. Maybe, he had a, minor ankle sprain or rolled an ankle or something like that, and they're just being cautious. I'm not super concerned, but I am keeping an eye on it to see if he's out there getting reps, practicing, because obviously him being a rookie, you want him to get as many reps as possible. Make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button here on Bears Now. If you love the Chicago Bears, please subscribe. It's 100% free. We're trying to get to 50,000 subs before training camp, which is, 5 weeks away or so. We'll get official dates hopefully very soon. So hit that big red button. Daily videos, latest news, rumors around the Chicago Bears. Live shows. We're going to be live tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central. Every Tuesday, that's when we go live. So subscribe if you don't want to miss out on anything surrounding the Chicago Bears. Storyline number 4. Robert Quinn, will he show up? I think the answer is going to be yes, but wasn't at OTAs, which are voluntary, so a lot of veterans across the league don't show up. And a guy like Robert Quinn, he might be near the top of the list in terms of guys that didn't really need to show up. He's played in 4-3 systems before. He's played in 3-4s, 4-3s, multiple. He's done it all. He's coming off an 18.5 sack season. He's 32. He doesn't necessarily need to be there, but he was absent during OTAs. So until he does show up and arrive at the building, it's possible that he won't, right? I think he'll be there since it is mandatory and the team can fine him, and technically it's considered a holdout if he does not show up. Obviously, Quinn is the leader in terms of this defensive line, in terms of ability to get after the passer. He's a leader for this defense as well. A little bit of a quiet guy, but he's a guy that people rally toward. Obviously, the trade rumors have, kind of circulated on and off throughout the offseason. I'd say they've resurfaced a little bit as of late since he hasn't been at OTAs. And I think there's been some buzz that Ryan Poles would trade him for proper value. So if he's not at minicamp, the trade buzz will probably increase even more, and you wonder if the Bears will look to explore that. If that is the case, we'll find out tomorrow if he is at Hallis Hall. I don't think it's a huge deal either way, but I would like to see him there. What do you guys think? Will Robert Quinn be at Bears minicamp? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Curious to see where you guys come in. I'm leaning yes. I'd say 70% chance he will be there, but there's obviously a decent chance that he will not be. So type 2 for no if you think he will not be there. All right, the final storyline, kind of like the offensive line and mix it and match in there. Wide receiver competition behind the three, and I'll put air quotes starters because I don't think anything's really set in stone at a lot of these positions, especially receiver. We know Darnell Mooney's this team's top receiver. Beyond that, it's very questionable. The other two guys I mentioned as starters, I'll put Byron Pringle and Velus Jones as the kind of in that top three. But even with those guys, let's be honest, the Bears need some receivers to emerge. That is the case. Now, I feel fairly comfortable with the quote-unquote big three of Mooney, Pringle, and Jones, although I think you could add another piece in there. But after that, who's going to step up? I was listening to the Hogan Johns podcast. Shout out to the Adams there who cover the Bears, do a great job. Big fan of their work. When Mooney and Velus Jones were on the field, Adam Johns said, not a lot of guys were getting open at the final OTA practice. So is Equanimous St. Brown going to be someone that steps up? Is Daz Newsome going to be that guy? Tajay Sharp, David Moore, Dante Pettis. I mean, someone's got to round out this roster, even if you feel great about Moody, Pringle, and Jones, which who knows how the Bears feel at this point in time. It's not like you only have 3 receivers. You need at least 5, if not 6, to be on your 53-man roster. So I think this wide receiver competition is going to be fascinating to see which out of these, wide receiver 4 through 8 of St. Brown and Newsome, Moore, and all these other guys, Pettis and Sharp, which 1, 2, 3 guys are going to step up, make some plays, and, make Luke Getsy feel better about that position, make Justin Fields get more confidence with those guys. I'll be very curious to see how that rounds into form, not only this week, but also on into training camp as well. And if there isn't a lot of confidence there, don't be surprised if the Bears add another body. All right, there you go. My 5 storylines during Chicago Bears minicamp, which gets going underway tomorrow. Again, we'll cover it all, so stay tuned for that. What's the number one thing you're watching for during Bears minicamp? We asked you earlier. Now I'm asking you again after I gave you my top 5 storylines. Let us know in the comments, and I'll be reading them and replying to you guys down there as well. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll have you covered throughout minicamp. Remember, live show, as always, tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central Time here on YouTube. We'll do our normal call-in show after that as well, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. So be out on the lookout for that. I am Harrison Graham. Happy Monday. We'll see you tomorrow here on Bears Now.